During this presentation, I will explain what knowledge organisers are, how and why we will be using them at Kingsbridge Community College, and how they will link to students' home learning. Positive mental health is inextricably linked to learning. The more successful students feel in their learning, the more beneficial this will be to their well-being. It is our job to design our curriculum to help students to feel successful and to help them to be happy. We are aspirational for our students here at KCC. We know that we are an outstanding learning community where we pride ourselves on helping individuals thrive. In order to do this, we have made some slight changes to the way that home learning will be set and the use of knowledge organisers, which will be new for some students in some year groups, in order to help students to be successful. If you have a student in year 7 and 10, they may well have already spoken to you about using knowledge organisers. All subjects that your child studies has put together knowledge organisers for the topics that your child will be studying between September and December in autumn 2020. Knowledge organisers are summaries of the information that students need to know for their current topics. They're published 3 times a year to students in a booklet in the autumn term, the spring term and the summer term. Students must bring this booklet with them to college every day, and they will also be given a knowledge organiser workbook which they should bring with them too. If you have a child in year 8, 9 or 11, subjects have also put together knowledge organisers, but these will be handed out by the teachers and stuck into students' exercise books or folders. Students in year 8, 9 and 11 will be given a knowledge organiser workbook which they should bring with them every day to ensure that we can keep track of how well they are doing in recording their knowledge organiser home learning. A knowledge organiser is a summary of all the key information that students need for a particular topic. We know from research that students who spend time learning key information build up knowledge and can use that knowledge more easily than students who haven't learned that information as well. When students are set a particular knowledge organiser home learning, they will spend 15 minutes on a subject learning their knowledge organiser in a particular way, and I'll go through that way in just a moment. During the next lesson, their teacher will quiz them on the content of the part of the knowledge organiser that they have been expected to learn. Students will need to be responsible for their learning and keep track of their knowledge organiser quiz scores and try and beat their personal best each time. These are the instructions that students have been given to help them to be able to use their knowledge organisers effectively. The building up of knowledge will help students to be able to gain knowledge more quickly and also to know that they have security in the knowledge that they have. There is a specific method of learning knowledge organiser content. We are going to use 15-minute slots, and students should use the method look, cover, write, check and review. They should complete their knowledge organiser home learning in their knowledge organiser workbook. The method look, cover, write, check and review is proven to help students to be able to learn specific pieces of information and to be able to recall them later in their learning cycle. So students read a specific section of the knowledge organiser, that is the look part. They then cover it over or put it to one side. In their knowledge organiser workbook, they should write from memory as much of the information as they can remember. They then open their knowledge organiser again and check back. They add or correct anything that they might have missed in their purple pen. And then they go back over their knowledge organiser, repeating again so that they know that they have learnt the information that they need. This is an example of how students will carry out their look, cover, write, check and review. Students should set out their knowledge organiser workbook neatly and with pride to ensure that it becomes a useful revision tool for them. They should write out the pieces of information from the knowledge organiser that their teacher has indicated they need to learn for the next lesson. Knowledge organisers will have a mixture of pictures, diagrams and words on, and students can use pictures, diagrams and words in their knowledge organiser workbook to help them to understand and to remember the information that they're given. They can then lay out their page with sections and questions to help them to remember, and it is important that they correct and add more detail using their purple pens to help them to recognise the parts that they learnt easily the first time round and those that they needed to add during the review process. Students' tutors will check that they have their Knowledge Organiser workbook with them every day, but it will be their teachers that check they have completed their Knowledge Organiser home learning. Teachers will be looking to ensure that students' presentation is good, that they've covered the correct part of the Knowledge Organiser, and that they have reviewed using their purple pen. Students will be quizzed in the next lesson on the content of the part of the Knowledge Organiser that they have been expected to learn. Students and teachers will keep a record of their Knowledge Organiser quiz outcomes, and it will be useful for students to try and beat their personal best each time. At Key Stage 4, each Knowledge Organiser home learning will be 15 minutes. There will also be extended tasks that will be up to 45 minutes in length. On average, per evening, there will be 3 Knowledge Organiser home learnings and 1 extended task home learning each day. However, extended tasks might be shorter than 45 minutes, and there will be certain days when no extended tasks are set. Maths home learning uses Sparks and not Knowledge Organisers, and your child will have more information about their Sparks login and how they are completing their home learning from their maths teachers. For each of the sciences, students will receive 2 Knowledge Organisers per 2-week timetable cycle and 1 extended task. At Key Stage 3, again, each Knowledge Organiser home learning will be 15 minutes. Each extended task will only be up to 30 minutes in length, and on average there are 2 Knowledge Organiser home learnings and 2 extended task home learnings each day. Again, there will be days on which the extended tasks are much shorter than 30 minutes, and there will be days on which there are no extended tasks set. So things have changed slightly, especially in Year 7 and Year 10, because we have moved to organising the curriculum into 3 learning cycles per year. Each learning cycle will follow the same model, and it will help students to be able to organise their time and to prepare well for assessments. The feedback from those assessments will help students to close gaps in their understanding and to retain a greater depth of knowledge to enable them to learn their next topics more effectively. We are committed to ensuring that students spend their time at KCC experiencing success. We know that students who feel successful are more likely to enjoy their learning and to experience a journey through school that enables them to be successful in their future pathways. These changes have been made to ensure that all students can engage with home learning and assessment and feel successful whilst doing so. Each learning cycle will follow the same model. Week 1 will be a cultural context week. This week is used to complete simple knowledge tests and quizzes to work out what students already know about the upcoming topic. This helps teachers to plan appropriate starting points for each student to ensure that all students can access the learning. It also helps students to place the upcoming content in comparison to their current knowledge and understanding, and to help them to work out what they already know and what they can draw on from their previous learning experiences. Weeks 2 to 10 will be teaching weeks. During these weeks, all content for the learning cycle is taught. Depending on the amount of curriculum time that is allocated to each subject, there may be 1 or 2 mid-cycle assessments during these weeks. These mid-cycle assessments might be home learning tasks or tasks in class, which will enable students to know how well they're getting on as the learning progresses through the topic. Week 11 will be assessment week. Students will undertake in-class assessments on the content learned between weeks 2 to 10. These assessments might also cover some content taught in previous learning cycles. This will help students to make links between the content that they have just learned and also the content that they may have learned previously. This helps students to embed knowledge in their long-term memory and be able to make links which will help them to access learning more easily. Super Teaching Week is week 12. All lessons in this week will focus on closing students' knowledge gaps that will have been highlighted by the assessments undertaken in week 11. Teachers will plan these lessons carefully to respond to students individually to ensure that their knowledge gaps can be closed. These learning cycles are designed to help students to be able to embed knowledge in their long-term memory. This will help students to be able to more easily access learning as they go forward, enabling students to experience success more frequently, to be able to plan for assessments in advance, knowing what will be covered in those assessments, to ensure that they feel secure and confident when they undertake upcoming assessments. Teachers will be marking students' mid-cycle assessments and their end-of-cycle assessments. Most other work that is done in student exercise books will either be peer assessed or self-assessed, helping students to keep track of their own learning and enabling teachers to easily see where students have gained knowledge and it's secure, and where students need to have help to go back over concepts to ensure that those concepts have been learned.